All right, let's take a look at these lists first before we get into the game. Cremasoli with the Gudra, the double Roxanne build. I love that. Battle VIP pass over Quick Balls and no Luminion. No Quick Balls, no Luminion. And 4 Pokegear, actually. Okay, so that's a difference maker right there. 4 Pokegear. So Cremasoli is trying to see Colress. I actually kind of like this build, to be honest. I actually like this build a lot. Got a choice belt in there as well. Not trying to get Dragonited. We've got Ethan with the Mew build. Pretty vanilla. I don't see anything too crazy going on here. It's a pretty vanilla Mew here. Pretty vanilla cross-switcher Mew. Nothing wild, despite their name being Ethan Wild. Let's go ahead and let's get into the games. Looks like we got Mew going first. That's a pretty big deal. Definitely an advantage. I think even has... No, I'm trolling. I thought they had double cross switcher in hand. Let's see, did they play the Pal Pad? No Pal Pad. So did they quick ball away Roxanne off the rip here? Roxanne's pretty good in this matchup. The prize cards for Alessandro are not very good. Double Battle VIP Pass, double Colress. Ultra Ball as well here coming in from Ethan. So is giving up on the Roxanne there. So no Roxanne for Ethan. Also prize 2 Mew. They also prize 2 Mew V themselves. And 2 Paths at the Peak. Which means they won't be able to stop an aggressive... Gee, this could get weird. They won't be able to stop an aggressive Drapion from Alessandro. That's a good draw into the Battle VIP Pass, though. Another Genesect, another Mew, I'm sure, are on the way. Yeah, and then we'll probably see a retreat to Mew and pass from Ethan. And then hopefully Alessandro can find basic Pokemon. 2 Battle VIP Pass prize, though. 2 Colress as well. But they got the 4 Pokegear. The Pokegear are kind of cool, though, actually. I kind of like that from Alessandro. It makes me want to try Gudra again. I always go back to Gudra. And then I'm always disappointed. Final draw. Oh, no, one more Genesect draw here from Ethan. So Ethan leaving the last bench space open. I'm not sure I like that. If Ethan had checked their prize cards, I think they probably would have put the Oricorio down there. I would bet that Ethan would have put the Oricorio down there. Not sure, though. Oh, yeah, only 3 Mirage Gate here from Alessandro. I mean, you don't need a ton of Mirage Gates in the deck, but he's going to put the... Definitely going to need the ones you see now, though. But no basic Pokemon. Does have the opening Colress here from Alessandro, but no basic Pokemon in the Colress. Nor was there a Battle VIP Pass, I don't think. They're going to give up Escape Rope versus Net. Gives up the Rope. Definitely worse than Net overall. In this situation, I don't think Alessandro plans to attack turn 1, except maybe with a Cram into a Mew, which is whatever. But there we go. Battle VIP Pass is on the way. So we'll probably see Greninja grabbed here, plus a Comfey maybe to start off with. Or we could just see a Gudra grab alongside a Comfey. The Drapion is not prized for Alessandro, so Alessandro could go for an aggressive Drapion play here. I don't think that's ever the route to take. But we'll see what Alessandro thinks. Yeah, Gudra, Comfey. No Greninja, actually. But might have a Capture Energy in hand to go put that on the Gudra and then go find the Greninja. Of course, you do need to build up your Lost Zone. That is very important. But also getting the Greninja draw power is also super important. So we'll see. Just a switch into the Comfey. And Comfey here, definitely hoping for some basic Pokemon here. Basic Pokemon, Battle VIP Pass, Capture Energy. Might even still have a Capture in hand, and Alessandro might just be waiting to play the Capture until after trying to get a different basic here. Gives up on a Gudra V-Star. Sometimes can be a little hassle to find, but usually not a huge deal. What does Alessandro do from there? Water to Goo. Is it a pass after that? That is not a very powerful start, and this leaves it open for Ethan to definitely go KO the Gudra on the next turn. Really put a hurt in on Alessandro. Oh, and that's a really good top deck there from Ethan as well. Got the Force Seal Stone. So it's looking really good for Ethan here. Going to go chase the Gudra here. Like I said, I think last turn Ethan should have just put down the Oricorio and drawn cards. I think if Ethan had checked their prize cards... and seen 2 Mew prize, I think you always bench Oricorio there. There might be a reason to not bench Oricorio as far as like the way the prizes line up in this matchup pretty consistently, but I feel like there isn't, to be honest. Chromatic Tails... I think Oricorio should just hit the bench here. V-Star power coming in. Gonna go get another cross switcher before they play the Judge. I think this is probably fine. I kind of would like to have seen Ethan just draw maybe with 1 more Genesect there. And this is where Ethan really wants to go, like double cross switcher the Gudra. And then also put Pat to the Peak in play to stop the potential of the Drapion. But unfortunately for Ethan, both their paths are prized. So there we go. Double cross switcher on the goo. And now Judge is going to hit. And once again, not benching the Oricorio. I would like to see the Oricorio bench, I think. I'm pretty sure I would just like to see the Oricorio on the bench here. Or would have liked to have seen it. I don't think there's a reason to like not bench it. And like I said, does Ethan know there's 2 Mew prize? I'm not sure. Maybe Ethan did check the prize cards, know there's 2 Mew prize, and is still not benching the Oricorio. Be interesting. All right, see how the Judge fares for both players. Or are they holding out for like the 4th Genesect? They could also be holding out for that. I think they have it in hand or are not playing it. So I feel like Ethan is holding out for another Mew. That just is not going to happen. Okay. Knockout. That was a weird interaction for them. They both kind of stopped. No path for Ethan, which means the Drapion is a possibility here for Alessandro. Does find the Greninja finally. Gonna be some Comfy action. I think as Alessandro here, you kind of have to go with the Drapion. I guess you could wait a turn. Like Alessandro could Drapion next turn plus bench a Goodra V, and that wouldn't be terrible. It's a Colress. But then you don't want to bench a Goodra V here as Alessandro. You want to wait. So you could do that. You could just like punch with Cram for turn and then see what Ethan does around that play. So if you could just punch for Cram here with Cram here as Alessandro, and then next turn go Goodra, Drapion knockout of VMAX. I'd be curious to see if Alessandro does take that route, how that kind of develops. And there is like a situation, okay, but we're just going in with the Drapion. All right, we're just going in. And there's the capture. This is going to go ahead and grab the Goodra V. So Goodra is going to get set up. Drapion's in play. Now I'm going to go over to Ethan. Now Ethan wants to Lost City KO the Drapion. Play from Ethan on this turn is going to be Lost City, KO Drapion, and ideally Roxanne, or would have been ideally to Roxanne. But Ethan did play their Roxanne on the first turn of the game, or did discard it on the first turn of the game. So there's no Roxanne for Ethan anymore. Retreat, Drapion, punch, knockout. Yep. Now over to Ethan. Mew. And we're looking at KO Drapion plus Lost City. Otherwise, you risk just getting Ordinary Rod. Return. And once again, Ethan has been drawing like less cards. Like this is once again like this kind of all like snowballs. As soon as you decide to not bench a Pokemon for 1 draw with Genesect, it like builds up pretty fast the amount of cards you're not seeing. Like Ethan chose to not bench the Oricorio on turn 1. Then on turn 2, never filled up their bench with a 5th Fusion Strike Pokemon. So it all just kind of builds up turn after turn. Like the amount of cards that you could have seen as Ethan that you're now not seeing, and taking away the potential options on your current turn and future turns by seeing that many less cards. Like it's possible if Ethan had just like slammed down the Oricorio as soon as they had seen it, that they could still have 4 Seal Stone this turn and make this whole turn that much easier and so on, right? So definitely interesting. Like it just kind of builds up. Well, there's like a better word for it than build up, but maybe someone in chat will let me know what it is. Okay, Retreat Genesect, play a switch. Double turbo to a Genesect. This could actually get a little weird for Ethan because Alessandro does play. Actually, this is really weird for Ethan because Ethan is out of. Ethan's actually out of Mew Vs, so there's not 2 Mew Vs to kind of switch between here as Ethan. If it was possible, Ethan probably should have. Compounding errors. Yeah, it kind of compounds. That'd be a good way to put it. It kind of compounds and just kind of builds up. Ethan probably should have kept the switch in the hand, kept the switch in the deck to use to reset this Mew. Because without having 2 Mew VMAXs in play, it can be hard for this deck to actually reset your Mews back to back. Ooh, Echoing Horn here is super good though. Comes an Ultra Ball. Sort of Boss Judge here, I think. It's going to take a scan through. And is this going to be a realization of no Mew Vs? I think it is, yes. I think Ethan is having a realization that they prize double Mew V. Just go ahead and shuffles it up. All right. I could be wrong here. Maybe they already knew, but it felt like that was a realization of no Mew V. Okay, Genesect doesn't play the Echoing Horn, which is interesting because now that gives Alessandro a potential, gives Alessandro the potential to actually recover the Goodra V. Now, of course, if you put the Goodra V in play for Alessandro, then it's possible that Alessandro will be able to evolve it. But with 1 V-Star already lost zoned, and the Goodra deck doesn't play any way to find your V-Stars. You just have to naturally draw into them. I kind of like the aggressive Echoing Horn here from Ethan, I think. I think there is a Goodra in the discard pile right here as well. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. So I like the aggressive Echoing Horn here for sure from Ethan. I think that you should be aggressive with the Echoing Horn. Because next turn, Alessandro's going to try an Ordinary Rod, the Drapion, to use it again. But it's possible. There's just the hit. But it's possible Alessandro, even if they recover the Drapion, that they whiff. And there's Rod Capture from Alessandro. So they recover it, and they don't whiff. Yeah, once again, all that kind of like compounded. That's a good, yeah, the compounded. Like Ethan saw that many less cards throughout the game by not putting down the Oricorio immediately. And like possibly if Ethan had just seen a couple more cards, maybe that leads to not using the Forest Seal Stone, which leads to having the Forest Seal Stone to find the Lost City that turn. That turn you go Lost City, KO the Drapion, it goes to the Lost Zone. And then you can also like Echoing Horn, the what's it called into play, maybe. So yeah, I think it was played a little bit sloppy there from Ethan for sure. I think it was definitely played a little bit sloppy there from Ethan. But go to game 2. Ethan once again going first. Opens up with the Battle VIP pass, it looks like. This time only 1 Mew V prized. I'm sure Ethan will be happy to see that. Prize cards for Alessandro. Yeah, those are actually fine. I think both players' prize cards are like fine. It would be. I think Ethan would like to have access to the Judge. It would be nice to have the Choice Belt in like some of the earlier prize cards. The Choice Belt being at the end of the prize cards probably is not great. Having the extra Judge in the deck is nice as well to be able to Judge spam aggressively, but it's whatever. Nothing else there for Ethan though, just pass. So Mew, Genesect, pass. Over to Alessandro. Alessandro could have like a ridiculous play here of like boss. Doesn't have it. Could have had like boss KO, the benched. It would have been pretty unlikely. Could have had the boss KO on the benched Mew though. Immediate ditch of the Roxanne there from Alessandro. Has double capture, I believe, in hand. Probably is going to loss on one of those in the end because it has gate and net as well, which are both pretty good cards. We'll see what Alessandro goes for. These are the gate, actually. Okay, so might have another gate in hand, or might just be feeling confident. You do have a little bit more time, because you have the Drapion to use as an attack for a turn at some point. You have a little bit more time to, like, get to your gates for sure. There's the Battle VIP pass, though, so we should see probably the Greninja, maybe another Gudra or another Comfey. Actually, doesn't even go for the Greninja, so might not have the energy in hand to support the Greninja here. Does still have a capture energy in hand, though, so we could see capture for the Greninja still. And yeah, I think that's what Alessandro was realizing. Oh, wait, I'm not done here. I'm going to go ahead and cap. Yeah, I think that's literally... I was like, I think that's about what's about to happen here. It's about to be like, oh, wait, I have capture for my Greninja. Let me go do that. Why am I shuffling? Goes ahead and captures out the Greninja. This does mean that Alessandro gets 1 less flower selecting this turn, because instead of putting the capture on one of the Comfeys to retreat it, you're putting it on the Gudra. You'll appreciate the 31 3-sub there, Jake. So that is like -1 flower selecting here for Alessandro. And does have like a net escape rope. Could retreat. There's the net. So yeah, this is like -1 flower selecting from Alessandro, though, to be honest. So I don't know if I love that attachment to the Gudra over holding it. Yeah, I like the neck wrap here. Just keep using Comfey. Just thin out the deck. You know, try and get to your plays. There's no reason to not be more aggressive, to be super aggressive with your Comfeys here, I think, as Alessandro. Jeanette. Oh, okay. I was like, oh, did we forget? No, we're good. Gonna go ahead and take the knockout here. I like this KO here as well. Actually, this KO is like a really big KO here for Alessandro, because this means that now Alessandro can go Cram KO or Oricorio, Drapion KO Mew V Max, and then Gudra KO a Genesect with a boss or an escape rope or a Mew V, whatever. So this 1-2-3 lineup here, or 1-3-2 lineup, it seems like it'll be pretty good for Alessandro. Hand from Ethan has the V Max. What else do they have though? Has a path. Not looking good. And Technoblast for the KO. I think had a boss in hand. I wouldn't have hated to see Gust on Gudra there, to be honest. Yeah, I wouldn't have hated to see Gust on Gudra there, to be honest. You appreciate the 33 months there, Ryan. Yeah, Gust on Gudra, I could have seen being a play there for sure. I mean, no play is great when you're like drawing this poorly though, as Ethan. I guess one thing good for Ethan is they did get the path. So it might be difficult. Maybe not. If Alessandro can find a Mirage Gate. Yeah, a Mirage Gate and another Temple of Sinnoh. And despite the Paths of the Peak and only 2 fusion Pokemon in play, Alessandro could knock out. Alessandro could still take the KO on this Mew VMAX. Or I guess you could go like double gate. It's possible. There's a Gudra. Even hitting with Gudra here would be pretty insane, to be honest. So there's like a lot of things that Alessandro could do here. I see Switch. I see Escape Rope. Scoop Up Net. So we're going to keep going here. 7 in the Lost Zone. So this is like a little bit risky here from Alessandro, because if you hit like double energy or something there, all of a sudden your Mirage Gate might be shut off. So I would have hated to see Alessandro just use the gate first and commit to the Gudra attack. But I think was trying to find the Temple of Sinnoh to potentially use the Drapion to just win the game this turn. But either way, I think the Gudra attack is still likely here. I think it's still going to happen. No, it's just a pass. Was there no switch card in hand? Or does Cremasoli just not want to attack? That was actually interesting. That was an interesting pass there. I feel like KOing the Genesect here. I think it was an escape rope in the hand there for Alessandro. Maybe I'm trolling though. All right, Ethan's got some stuff to cook with. Actually, I think Ethan had stuff last turn as well and was maybe playing it a little bit slow on purpose. No, I don't think Ethan had really that much stuff to work with, actually. I take it back. Now does have Forest Sealstone, another Genesect, has the Stadium Bump, the Lost City to remove the Path to the Peak. Doesn't need to reset their Mew. As Ethan here, you probably want to chase the Gudra V before it evolves. That's going to be the goal, but I think it's a pretty tall order for sure. First Genesect is just for 1. It is a quick ball, though. That's a pretty good find. So you need to find double cross switcher, plus a tablet, KO Gudra, and then ideally probably also judge Cremasoli and hope they can't pull off the Drapion play. I think that would be the line here from Ethan. We'll see, though. Here comes another Genesect. There's a boss, but you'd have to reset the Mew. You could you could get a switch off of the Cram, or then if this fails, get a switch off of the... Okay, it did work. Oh, it's just gonna go for another Genesect though. Still has a Force Sealstone open though, so you can still go Force Sealstone for the switch. Go retreat, switch, boss. I don't think Ethan's played a supporter yet, so you can still make that happen. Another Genesect to draw with though. I like that. I think this is fine. For 3, quick ball can cram away the quick ball. Yeah, probably cram away quick ball. Ideally get another head so you don't have to use your Forest Sealstone. Hopefully Ethan remembers. Another heads. Okay. All right, we're cooking. Goes for a judge. I don't hate this. And then still has the Forest Sealstone on the other side to potentially set up a way to pull off some kind of attack here. Ideally, once again, double cross switcher, KO on the Gudra. KO on the active isn't terrible, but KO on the Gudra I think would be a little bit better. While you can get it, just make it easier before it evolves to a V-Star, and then it's a little bit harder to make work, harder to get the knockout. So, I mean, getting the KO on the Comfy is fine. As long as Ethan just has to remember that they used Technoblast last turn. I believe they used Technoblast last turn. I'm not trolling, right? Another Cram? Will it be another heads? Here we go. Is it 3 heads in a row for Ethan? Yes. Now, can't do the cross switcher play. Can't do the cross switcher. Goes for another Genesect, though. We're not done. But wait, there's more. Ethan will grab another Genesect off of the Cram. And we'll Genesect again here for 5 now, I believe. 3, 4. Got the switch as well. Did not get the play. I think actually Ethan was actually digging for the play to potentially KO the Gudra. Oh, it's just going to be a pass. Ooh, hold up. I don't think you can just pass here as Ethan. So Ethan goes pass. I don't like this. Like, the Gudra is just set up to knock out a Genesect, and then Cremasoli is just a Drapion away from winning the game on a Mew VMAX. I think what Ethan has to do here, I think Ethan still has the Roxanne. So what Ethan should do here is go knock out the Comfy, and then Cremasoli goes Drapion, and then you go Roxanne, knock out Drapion, and then try and KO one of the Gudras after that. I think this play from Ethan is... You're, like, theoretically not giving Cremasoli their best play of Drapion KO Mew VMAX, but I think at the cost of just, like, you're hurting your chance to win the game here, I think, as Ethan for sure. I think it's a throw from Ethan for sure, just to go with the retreat. Because you had the switch in hand there as Ethan, so you had to play. We'll see how good of a draw this is for Cremasoli, though. Gives up a Colress. But if Cremasoli just has the attack with Gudra here, I think Cremasoli is chilling. Another Gudra. Now they're double V start up. Does Cremasoli have a Metal Energy and a way to move the active, though? That's the question. Yeah, I don't think that's a winning line there from Ethan. Oh boy, Drapion's being benched. Switch. Oh, Cremasoli with the boss. And this is also another play that could happen. Now, this play, I think depending on the circumstances from Ethan, I think it would be fine to just assume Cremasoli wouldn't draw this off the judge and just hope that Cremasoli doesn't get this play. Cremasoli did get it. But I think Cremasoli just hitting with Gudra into the active Genesect there was bad enough. This is also still pretty bad. In a Temple of Sinnoh to get rid of the Lost City. So it's another thing Ethan kind of needs to set up here is Ethan needs to find a Lost City, VMAX, Tablet, and just Roxanne is not as good anymore. Roxanne isn't as good here anymore for Ethan because you don't win on the next turn as Ethan. So that means Alessandro has a turn to recover. Yeah, this is not looking good. I think Ethan definitely made this one harder on themselves than they needed to, and now is going to have a real hard time making a comeback in this one. I would even go with Judge this turn and Roxanne next turn if I was Ethan. So I would look for Judge this turn plus Lost City, and it's a heads. Is there a Lost City in the deck? There is. So you should grab... No, not the Path! Unless... No, this is a big mistake from Ethan. The Lost City was in the deck, so all Ethan has to do here... I think the play from Ethan here this turn should be Judge plus Lost City away the Drapion. Judge plus Lost City away the Drapion. And then next turn, go for double cross switcher the Greninja plus Roxanne or a Comfy. And the following turn, go double cross switcher, triple tablet plus a choice belt, double tablet plus a choice belt, KO one of the Gudras. If you put Path to the Peak in play here, the Drapion just goes to the discard pile, which means it can be rotted back. I guess the reason to put Path in play would be to shut down Greninja more so than anything. But I'm not a big fan of that. I think you want to Lost City this Drapion. I think it gives... it leaves Alessandro with too many tools here. Does get the Roxanne. And like I said, I do kind of like the idea of playing the Roxanne a turn later. But I don't think Roxanne here is terrible, to be honest. Like, Roxanne this turn is okay. But I think you got to Lost City this Drapion. I don't know. I mean, maybe this will work out. Path plus Roxanne, KO the Drapion. Maybe Alessandro just doesn't draw anything off of that, and maybe you just win because Alessandro gets nothing, which is also possible, I guess. Maybe this is the correct line to take, and just hope that they get absolutely nothing. Because like, yeah, you can't use Greninja. You're getting Pathed. Judges, Roxanne's happening. You get 2 cards. Like, it's possible Alessandro just literally just draws nothing here. See though. But Alessandro just needs a Metal Energy. If Alessandro just starts hitting with Gudra, it puts Alessandro in a pretty good spot. So it's like all Alessandro needs this turn is just literally a Metal Energy. And if you attack with Gudra this turn as Alessandro, I think you're in a pretty good spot. Comfy send up from Alessandro, though. See what they're cooking with. Into the Comfy. And it's also possible Alessandro literally wins this turn by recovering Drapion and getting another Temple of Sinnoh into play. Appreciate the tier 1 sub there, Roddy. With the option of KO Drape and then Horn, boss it. After Roxanne. Yeah, also you lose. Yeah, just not getting taken a prize there as Ethan, I think, was like a pretty big misplay. Welcome to the Rat Pack. We're fresh out of... Oh, there it is. Metal plus Escape Rope. That's it. That'll do it for Alessandro. But I think Ethan dug themselves a little bit of a hole in this one overall, right? That not taking that earlier knockout when they could have was definitely a mistake. It was looking pretty tough, though. It was actually like... It was in a pretty tough spot from the beginning, especially with like that prize card that Alessandro picked up on the Oricorio knockout with the Cram. That was like that sets up your price right. Like we see here at the end, the escape rope play that I even mentioned at the beginning of the game. Like it allows you to go escape rope, force up a 2-prizer, get the knockout, and then just win the game.